Hi everyone, I'm Katie. Today I'll show you what they talk about when they talk about graduating. When you're still in school, it's probably exciting every year to find out who the invited commencement speaker is, because usually they are celebrities like people in the entertainment industry, scientists, tech leaders, writers, or politicians. So, based on over 400 commencement speeches in the US that I could find, I wish to answer three questions: what, who, and how. That is, what do they talk about? Who is the audience? And how do they talk about it? First, let's take a look at the most commonly used words among all the speeches. The top ones are life, time, think, and world. But what are the speakers talking about? What we can do is feed all the transcripts to our topic model. And then we come up with 8 topics that make sense for classifying our speeches. These topics are based on words that model found. Here we have the first topic, family and friends, about some advice and stories. The second one is woman's voice. And the third one is nation and new generation. For the tech topic, the word technology comes with company, business, and career. We also have one about hardship and one about sportsmanship. Some speakers talk about arts and science, and some talk about dream. Now we may wonder what the trend of the topic is over the years. This graph could answer that question. It looks a bit messy, but it's okay. You just need to know each color corresponds to one topic, and the x-axis is the timeline. Then for each year, for example, here I label 2006, you can look at the height of a certain color and know the portion of the speeches that is about the corresponding topic that year. Starting from the bottom, we see that family and friends is always a popular topic. However, women's voice only started appearing in the late 2000s. In 2004, among all the speeches, New Generation and Nation has the largest portion. Tech and business increased a bit in 2005, but is then replaced by hardship in 2008. The rest are sportsmanship, arts and science, and dreaming. Maybe we can say the topic of New Generation and Nation is prominent in 2004 due to the presidential election at the end of that year. Or say that the global financial crisis started in 2007 to 2008, so there's more talk about fear, failure, or challenge. However, we must keep in mind that while some of the observations may be interesting, the sample size is too small to draw any conclusion. Now we can turn to the second question: who is the audience? Based on location of the schools, we can divide the audience of the speech to West, Central, and East. And we find in each region what the distribution of a topic looks like. At a quick first glance, you may notice the West and East look very similar. The West has slightly bigger portion of hardship and nation. And for the East, there's more about arts and sportsmanship. If we compare all 3 regions together, one finding is that while the East and West have comparable portion for the topic of women's voice, it is non-existent in the Central region. Okay, you might have heard a saying, it is not important what you talk about, but how you talk. And that is our last question. We will analyze the sentiment of the speeches based on the Vader polarity, which is a normalized score between 1 and -1, telling us whether the given text is positive or negative. We can divide a speech into 10 sections, evaluate the polarity for each section, and trace the evolution over the duration of the speech. Based on the speaker's profession, we find some pattern. For example, people in the entertainment industry or tech and business seem to be pretty positive overall. However, for doctors, lawyers, or researchers, they may have a positive opening, but in the middle, they become less positive or even negative. To summarize, we start with the commencement speech transcripts, find out what they talked about, who the audience is based on location, how the sentiment evolves throughout the speech, and lastly, since Amy talked about network analysis, out of curiosity, I tested out with the speech data I have. While each note represents one speaker, we can draw the edges between the notes according to the overlap of words used in their speeches and construct a network of our speakers. After some pruning and tidying, it will be easier to visualize a group of speakers who have large overlap of words they used and may reveal some interesting relations. For example, here we have a tight group of Steven Spielberg, Elizabeth Warren, Brooke Shields, etc. In the future, with deeper analysis, this can add another dimension to answering the three questions, what, who, how, that we have regarding commencement speeches or inspirational speeches in general. And that is all for my presentation. Thank you.